This is the verse section of Chapter 25 of the Lotus Sutra, the universal gateway of the Bodhisattva, regarder of the cries of the world. Then, inexhaustible mind Bodhisattva asked his question in verse. World-honored one of wonderful features, let me now ask you again, why is this Buddha-son named regarder of the cries of the world? The honored one, with wonderful features, answered inexhaustible mind in verse. Listen to the actions of the cry regarder, how well he responds in every region. His great vow is as deep as the sea, unfathomable even after eons. Serving many hundreds of billions of Buddhas, he has made a great pure vow. Let me tell you briefly about it. Those who listen to his name, see his body, and keep him in mind, not wasting time, will be able to put an end to all their suffering. If someone intending to harm you throws you into a burning pit, keep in mind the cry regarder's powers, and the pit of fire will become a pond. Or if you are drifting around in a great ocean, threatened by dragons, fishes, and various demons, keep in mind the cry regarder's powers, and you will not drown in the waves. If you are on the peak of Sumeru and someone pushes you off, keep in mind the cry regarder's powers, and you will stay in the sky like the sun. Or, if you are pursued by bad people and thrown down from Diamond Mountain, keep in mind the cry regarder's powers, and not a hair will be injured. If you are surrounded by robbers, each with a knife ready to use on you, keep in mind the cry regarder's powers, and their hearts will become compassionate. Or if you get into trouble with the king and are threatened with execution, keep in mind the cry regarder's powers, and the executioner's sword will break into pieces. If you are imprisoned, shackled and chained, your arms and legs in stocks, keep in mind the cry regarder's powers, and you will be freed from your bonds. Or if someone tries to hurt you with curses or poisons, keep in mind the cry regarder's powers, and the harm will revert to its originator. Or if you meet evil ogres, poisonous dragons, or various spirits, keep in mind the cry regarder's powers, and none of them will dare to harm you. If you are surrounded by evil beasts, with sharp tusks and frightening claws, keep in mind the cry regarder's powers, and they will flee in every direction. If there are lizards, snakes, vipers, or scorpions, with poisonous breath that burns like fire, keep in mind the cry regarder's powers, and at the sound of your voice they will flee. Or if clouds bring thunder and lightning flashes, hail pellets, or rain pours down, keep in mind the cry regarder's powers, and all will instantly disappear. If living beings suffer adversity and are oppressed by countless pains, the power of the wonderful wisdom of the cry regarder will liberate them from the world's suffering. Perfect and divine powers, practicing wisdom of skillful means everywhere, throughout the universe, there is no place where he does not appear. All evil circumstances in the realms of purgatories, hungry ghosts, and animals, in suffering, birth, old age, sickness, and death, gradually he brings all of them to an end. Hearing this from the Buddha, inexhaustible mind Bodhisattva joyfully said to the Buddha in verse, True regarder, pure regarder, vast wisdom regarder, compassionate and kind regarder, always looked upon, always looked up to. His pure and spotless radiance is a wisdom sun destroying all kinds of darkness. He subdues the storms and fires of disaster. He illumines the whole world. Precepts from his compassionate body shake like thunder. His compassion is like a great cloud, pouring Dharma rain like nectar, quenching the flames of affliction. If you are brought before a judge in a dispute, or terrified in the midst of a battle, keep in mind the cry regarder's powers, and all vengeance will be driven away. Wonderful voice, regarder of the cries of the world. Brahma voice, voice of the rolling tide, world-surpassing voice. He should always be kept in mind. Never have a moment of doubt about him, the pure and holy regarder of the cries of the world. By those in suffering and agony or facing death, he can be relied upon for protection. Equipped with all blessings, viewing all with compassionate eyes, his ocean of accumulated blessings is immeasurable. Heads should be bowed to him. Then the Bodhisattva earth holder rose from his seat, went before the Buddha and said to him, "World-honored one, if any living being hears this Bodhisattva regarder of the cries of the world chapter, hears of the freedom of his actions and the divine power of the revelation of the universal gateway, it should be known that this person's blessings are not few." While the Buddha taught this chapter on the universal gateway, all 84,000 living beings in the assembly became determined to reach the incomparable state of supreme awakening. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.